This is Amud Yomi as we continue learning Gemara Berachos Daf Nun Dalid Amud Beis, and we're on the top of Nun Dalid Amud Beis. We're about 8 lines down. We'll call it 10 lines down. The first word line is Avnei Al Gavish. Continues the Gemara discussing the different nisim that were brought up in the previous Amud in the Brais. Avnei Al Gamish, says the Gemara, Mai Avnei Al Gamish. What does this mean? Tana Avanim Sha'amdu Al Gavish. These are avanim, these are stones that were toilim, were suspended. Al gav ish, because of a man, al gav ish, it came down from a man. Of do al gav ish, says the Gemara, they were suspended because of a man, said Moshe. Tichsev, as the pasuk teaches us. Tichsev ish Moshe anov me'oid. Tichsev v'yachtalu ha'kodesh ha'barad. Mitoich loy nitach arza. Moshe Davin, by the Makkah of Barad, and what do we see? That the thunder and the hail stopped, and the rain, it didn't come down. That what happened? That all the bar that was coming down was suspended in midair. Yadu al gav ish. So when did these stones that were suspended in midair, when did they eventually come down to the Aretz? Says the Gemara, that was Yeshua. Bisman Yeshua, what happened was, those stones came down. Vahi ben Nusam ibnei Yisrael ki him b'morid beis Charon v'Hashem yishlach aleim avanim ki doilos, that Hashem made them, rained upon them these great stones. These were the stones of Moshe Rabbeinu that Yeshua brought back down. Yisrael continues the Gemara in the last narrow line. The stones that Og Melech Habashan wanted to throw at Klal Yisrael. Again, these were different areas that when one reaches, he should make a bracha upon seeing the items. Says the Gemara, where do we know this? Gemara Gemiri Latzlach Moshe Mesine Amar. Oig said, Machni Yisrael kama have. How big is the Machni Yisrael? Said Oig Tlasa Parsi, 3 parsa. Ezel v'yakar 2 bar Tlasa Parsi. I'll go up a mountain which is 3 parsais big, the size of the camp of Klal Yisrael. V'ishti alayav v'katzlenu. Says Oig, very simple. I'll throw the mountain on Klal Yisrael. V'katzlenu, and I'll kill them. What happens? He goes and he uproots this mountain, and he holds it on his head. Kadosh Baruch Hu, in his incredible, whether it's Midah Keneged Midah, but it's credible, almost irony we could call it. We have this incredible Malach, the incredible giant of Oig. What does Hashem bring? Hashem brings Kamsi. Hashem brings this teeny little creature, an ant. And what happens in a kvua? They bore a hole through the mountain. And the whole mountain falls on the Oig around his neck. He wanted to remove it. But the teeth of Oig extended into the mountain of Lot to the Mishlei, and Oig is not able to remove the mountain. Says the Gemara of and this is the meaning of the pasuk in the 5th medium-sized line. Shini Rishem Shibarta, the teeth of the wicked you have broken. What is the meaning of the pasuk? Rishem Shibarta, teeth of the wicked you broke. Hashem Altikri Shibarta, broken. Ela Shiravta, extended. Kausha Kama Have concludes this part of the Gemara. How tall was Moshe Rabbeinu? Etzer Amoy Shakal Narga Bar Etzer Amoy. Moshe Rabbeinu took an axe, which is 10 Amois long. Obviously, an incredible miracle on itself. If your 10 Amois told something your size, Shavar Etzer Amoy, and he jumped 10 Amois. Now he's up to 30 Amois, approximately 45, 50 feet in the air. Umache, and what did he hit? Bekarsule Vekatle, the ankle of Oig. Absolutely incredible. The sheer size of Oig and the way that Oig met his demise. And the next miracle in the Mishnah is the stone that Moshe Rabbeinu sat upon. Last week's parsha, and Moshe Rabbeinu's hands were heavy. And he took a stone and he sat on top of it. When one sees the wife of Lot, Shenemar. What happened to Lot's wife? She'd look backwards and she'd tame a pillar of salt. On the walls that were swallowed up. And the walls fell down. It's understand all the nisim that we're talking about. We're all for Klal Yisrael, so I understand that you make a bracha. Ela isha shalayit branios ave. What does that have to do with Klal Yisrael? She got punished. Amar Baruch Dayon Emes. Says the Gemara, you know what it means? That when you see the remains of Lot's wife, one should say Baruch Dayan Hames. Says the Gemara, but the Mishnah says for all of them you give Hoida, thanks, and Shavach. Dani answers the Gemara, Lloyd Valishta Baruch Shtayim. Lloyd and his wife, we make two brachas. Alishta Yoim Baruch Dayan Hames. Lloyd and Baruch Zeicher Es Asadik. Amar Rav Yechanan teaches. Rav Yechanan feel b'shas Kaiser Shekadosh Baruch Hu. Zeicher Sadikim Shnamar. Even when Hashem is angry, remembers the Sadikim v'Yivashachas Alikim Ari Akikar. When Hashem destroyed the cities, v'Yiskel Alikim Avram. Hashem remembered Avram. V'Yishachas light. Miteich Hafeicha. He sent light from amidst the Hafeicha. Continues the Gemara, 5 lines from the white lines. The 2 dots. V'Chamis Yericho Shem Nivalu. The walls of Yericho that were swallowed up. Says the Gemara. What does it mean that they were swallowed? They fell. For they heard the voice of the shefer. So what does it mean that the wall of Yericho was swallowed? It says the Gemara, the width and the height are the same. That means it was swallowed in its place. It wasn't able to topple, because even if it falls over, something that's wide and high at the same amount, it's like a square, it's not going to work. If it falls over, it'll still be standing. Therefore, the only way is that it was swallowed into the ground. Continues the Gemara. Those were all the times that Klal Yisrael were saved, and now we turn over. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. 3 lines from the very well lines. Arba'im tzrichon lahaides. 4 type of people have to give thanks. Yardu Ayam, those who travel by sea. Holchem Barais, those who go through the wilderness, the desert. Misha Chaylev in Israel, someone who is sick and got better. Misha Chavash Bevisa Asurim, someone who was in jail, V'yatza and came out. Explains the Gemara. Yardu Ayam in Allah and Bird. We know those who travel by sea. They say Yardu Ayam ba'aniyos. Those who travel by sea and by boat. Eimaro, Ma'isi Hashem. They see the deeds of Hashem. V'Omer says the Pasuk V'Yamid Ruach Sara, and the stormy wind. When they went heavenward and they came to the depth. They really staggered like a drunkard. They cried out to Hashem. They should shave them. And the storm calmed down. And these are all psukim in Tehillim. And they were happy when the storm calm down. We're on the second very wide line. What do they say? So what do we see? We see from this entire capital of Tehillim that they were those that were at sea, they were those that were in terrible danger. They cried out to Hashem, they were saved, and what do we conclude? Yaidu LaHashem chasav nivleisav v'nivlei adam. And now category number 2 is Halchim Midbarais. On the second wide line says the Gemara Minal Dechsev Tov Bamidbar. Those who wander in the desert, the desolation, there was nowhere. They cried out to Hashem, Hashem led them in a straight path. Again, those lost at sea, and then finally concludes that they thank Hashem. Number 3 was what? On the 4th wide line, someone that is sick and got better. Because of their averas, because of their problems, they got sick. Their neshama could not handle any food. Hashem healed them. Yoidu LaHashem Chastai. And finally, number 4 was what? One who was in jail, Mishak Chavash Bevisa Asurim on the 6th wide line. Minol and Dechsev says the Apostle Yoshek Choshech Samaves. Those are in darkness, those are in the shadow of death. Kihimru Imre Kel, they rebelled against Hashem. Vayimer Vayichna Ba'amal Libam. He humbled their heart. Vayimer Vizakul Hashem Besar Lahem. Vayimer Yotzim Choshech Samaves. Vayimer Yoidu LaHashem Chastoi. Okay, so we know the 4 categories of people that have to thank Hashem and make a bracha. What is the bracha? Says the Gemara 8 lines into the white lines. The first one line is Yaidu. Amar Rav Yehuda says Yehuda Baruch Koimel Chasadim Taivim. Abai Amer Sachlaidia Kamei Asari. You have to say in front of 10 people to say V'Yaramimu Bekal Amar. Such Amar Tremi Neu Rabbanan. And of the 10, 2 of them have to be Rabbanan. Shem Rishon Zekinim Yalua. Maskler Ravashi, asked Ravashi, Rabbanan. Maybe they all have to be Rabbanan. How do you know only 2? Miksiv Bikal Zekin doesn't have to be the whole Kal Zekin. Mela Bikal Ksiv. Veima Beasar Shar Matri Rabbanan. Maybe 10 other people and 2 Rabbanan. Kasha. This is a Kasha, concludes the Gemara. Of course, we know Kasha means there is a Teretz, And we all know that le'halacha, we paskin, you do not need to have Rabbanan there. And we'll conclude with one final story. Rav Yehuda, Chalash ve'itbech. Rav Yehuda was sick. We're 7 lines from the end of the Amid, and he got better. Oli Gabei Rav Chana Bagtov, Rabbanan, Rav Chana Bagtov, Rabbanan went to visit an Amr Le Baruch Chmana Di'avin Allah, and bless Hashem, who have given you, Rav Yehuda, to us, Avra, not given you to the dust. Meaning, Baruch Hashem, you're so alive. Amr Lahu, you responded, Petartu Yasim Aladu, you have exempted me from saying Aladuye, from thinking Hashem. Says the Gemara of Amr Abai, but Abai already said Abai do Babi Asar, if do in front of 10 people, Davi Asar, there were 10. Well, you look Kamadi, what do you hear of you that didn't say it? Like Sarach Tani Basri Amen, he said Amen, and Amen is akin to saying the bracha himself. Amr Rav Yehuda Shlosh Shimar, says Rav Yehuda, one last shtickle, 3 people need to have Shimar, need to be protected. Chayla, Chasan, Vechala, and a kala. Of course, we know this where the chas and a kala comes to, that they have shaymim on the day of their wedding. Masitatan chayla chaya, one who just gave birth, chas and vekali. Shaymim af avel, the shaymim af talmidei chachamim balayla. We'll stop over here. We'll pick it up from 3 lines to the bottom. B'siyata dishmaya.